15-minute break. 15-minute break. 15-minute break. 15-minute break. What was his voice? Oh my god, I literally have no idea how I did his voice. Very impressive, Mr. Wright. I have to say, I expected nothing less. I don't think that was his voice. I'm sorry. I completely forgot what his voice was. I have literally no recollection of it. We've only just begun. I was hoping you could tell me a bit more about what happened, actually. I did not think you would believe me if I told you. Better than you discover the truth for yourself. I was thinking of you, you know. I think we need less thinking and more talking. That night in the hospital, what really happened? Ah, the way your eyes gleam, Mr. Wright. You'll scare Trucy. Speaking of which, where is she? You'll scare the person that's not even here. You have seen the problem yourself. The letter. The one shot in the forehead one, right? Yes, and the reason he speaks of. I could not deny my mentor's wishes, even if I met my own death. Why not? This is something I will not say, for now at least. How did I do Valent's voice? I don't want to get them both like this. I don't want them to have the same voice. I, Valent Grammari, will da-da-da. What? They had the same voice. They basically had the same, whatever, they're the same people. Basically. They wore the same outfit, who cares? What's this for now business? I have done many things in my life, some well, some poorly. Maybe if I go darker? Not darker, deeper. But this is a cross we must bear alone to our graves. We? You wanted to know about the night of the incident? Finally, this guy sure likes to take his time getting to the important stuff. Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. And found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. 2? Yes, the one I had used on stage. And the one that had been used by my partner Valent. Oh, for the Zack and Valent's quick draw thing? Imagine being in a hospital and you're just able to have guns there. When have you ever seen a gun show up in a hospital? Then again, why would people, I don't know, whatever. My mentor had the look of one sleeping. I stood by his bedside, hearing only the light sounds of his breathing. And then I took the pistol into my hand. I cannot deny that my resolve faltered then for a moment. You faltered? You mean you thought about shooting him? Recall there was a reason I could not refuse his request. His last such request, though not his first. So, there were other requests you couldn't refuse before? To be honest, I have not always been steadfast, and I fear I brought pain upon Trucy. Was Magnifi coercing his disciple somehow? Just what was going on in the true Grammari? Yet, in the end, I did not shoot him. Instead, I turned and shot the clown. Ha ha ha. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. In your pocket? I believe if you examine the bullets in the clown's head, you will find it to be different than the one in my mentor. What were those called? Rifling marks. Yes. Well, that is all I have to tell you concerning the case. Concerning the case? You mean there's something else you can tell me? Ha 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 ha! You are a fascinating man, Mr. Wright. Thanks? Yes, there is something. My mentor. His eyes opened. What? Magnifi Grammari? The old devil. He was not asleep, you see. Well, also the sound of a gun going off would probably wake anyone up, honestly. But, you know, unless the gun just goes pew. Of course, the gunshot would have woken him anyway. Well, whatever. Whatevs. And there we had our last discussion as mentor and pupil. It was not a long discussion. Maybe 5-10 minutes or so. That clown moved. That clown wasn't facing the... What did you talk about? Ha ha ha! Mr. Wright, did I not just tell you? It does not concern this case. Zack Grammari. He seems pretty steadfast to me. Or maybe just stubborn. Mr. Wright, your presence is requested in the courtroom. Once again, I am in your hands. Right, let's get back in there. Yeah, Zach and Valen basically have the same voice, but it's okay. They're both magic people. Maybe I should give Trucy that same voice too, since they're all magic people. Court is now back in session. During our recess, a bullet was found in and dug out of the clown's head. Well, this is news. And the rifling works? There wasn't time to do a detailed analysis, though they did find the weapon type matches the murder weapon. Well, that's not very conclusive, is it? Which is why I'm about to call my very decisive witness. Your decisive witness? How many times have I heard those words? Though they often turn out to be far less decisive than you think. Phoenix, shut up! You don't talk like this! You don't talk like this! When does he ever talk like this? He sounds so pompous! Is that the word, maybe? He doesn't even talk like this in the newer games! And he's older then! Oh, don't worry on my account. I'm quite confident this witness will do the job. After all, he is intimately acquainted with the players in our little production, being the other half of the Troop Grammari's famous duo, Zach and Valent. Valent Grammari? So, we get to meet the great Magnify's other disciple. There he is. Same voice! Time for the same voice. Perhaps we'll start by asking your name and occupation. Valent Grammari. Magician. Is that how I did his voice before? Why don't I remember anything? And you're a decisive witness, are you? You can prove your fellow student, your partner's guilt. Fate. The grand illusion filled with traps and tricks. I mean, he's younger. Maybe I don't have to do it that weird. Well, wait, the shooting took place in the hospital after 11 o'clock at night. If you're a witness, does that mean you were there that late? If one were to deduce this logically, the conclusion is yes. Okay. I always get the characters, don't I? Well, you're in a video game. They're all characters, including you. I have an interesting fact for you. You see, several days before the crime, my witness received this. That looks very familiar. What, wait. That's the same letter Zach Grammari received. Yes, or perhaps I should say, ta-da! Order! And what does it say? Surely not the same thing. Perhaps you should see for yourself. It's the same thing, except the time is different. And the name's different, obviously. Why, it's practically the same. The court accepts this into evidence. This is most unusual. Exactly what was going on with you folk? What exactly was your true Grammari up to? It's all a magic trick, Your Honor. He's not actually dead. By which you mean? I'm just having trouble envisioning a man who would ask his students to kill him. Both of them, no less. It's just my opinion, El Judge. But from these letters, I'd say he was coercing them, not asking them. We walked the magician's path together, and in doing so, shared much of our lives. We have seen each other's penises and have diddled them. That is what we have shared. Nothing else. Sorry, that's inappropriate. A man is dead. When people are so close, there is strain. A warping of relations, you might say. Yet this has nothing to do with the case at hand. By which you mean you're not gonna tell us. Which makes me wonder even more about the reason they couldn't refuse. It's because they've seen each other's dicks. No, inappropriate. Stop it, me. That's so inappropriate. Well, let's get on with the testimony for starters. The defendant, Zach Grammari, stands accused. Tell us why. Oh, I'll do more than that. For where he walks, the red roses rise singing hymns to the miracle that is magic. Sure, I don't know what that meant. Fascinating, though I hardly need to remind you that the evidence could just as clearly point to you as a suspect. The letter, the murder weapon, and now the 2 bullets found at the scene. In fact, the only difference seems to be the designated time. As every magician knows, timing is everything. Yes, and now it's time to get this party fired up. Testimony. That night, I visited the hospital room at the time Magnify requested. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room, and my mentor had taken his final bow. I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. And yet the deal with the dead is still a deal. That sweetened kiss, I gave it to the clown. If you see a dead man, you see your mentor, your master is fucking dead in his hospital bed, and your first instinct is to fucking shoot the clown so he can fulfill his request. He's already dead. First of all, okay. Then I informed the doctor and the police. Your fucking priorities are so fucked up, Balance. God damn. So stupid. So you're the one who reported the crime. Indeed, I would think that this fact alone would clear my name of suspicion. Let's not jump to any conclusions. I'm really not putting any emotions into Phoenix's lines. He's very like, Yes, the cross-examination generally comes before a conclusion in this court. But if your testimony proves to be true, which is clearly not because it's stupid, then the defendant, Zach Gremory, is guilty. Well, I mean, it might be true. It's just that it's really fucking, it doesn't make any sense. And if it wasn't Zach Gremory, then the killer was you, Valent. Twirl. And no disappearing act will get you out of that. How could he disappear? He's wearing all yellow. That night, I visited the hospital room at the time Magnific requested. Which, according to the letter, was 11:20 p.m. Indeed. In magic, timing is everything. Right. Consider the illusion of teleportation. If I were to appear on stage before my stunt double has left, how would that look? Why, it would reveal the very secrets of my magic. Now that you've revealed the secrets of your magic for all of us, let's move on. You went at the designated time, and what did you see?
Smell of gunpowder hung in the room and my mentor taking his final bow.
So, you weren't worried for your own safety at all? I mean, you smelled gunpowder, yes? What if the shooter was still nearby? I did not consider this, to be honest. It is forbidden for a magician to have a good imagination. What? That can't be right. Huh? Really? Isn't magic all about illusions' imagination? How about this? You were the shooter, which is why you weren't afraid. Now you are the one imagining. It is forbidden for a lawyer to have a good imagination. The witness will refrain from pausing so suspiciously before responding. My forbidden imagination is starting to imagine things. Did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. My fellow student? Oh, I guess so. Which brings us... What? Sorry, I was thinking of things. Which brings us back to the reason neither of you could refuse. So it does. And my partner, he did not refuse. But Magnifi wrote the same thing to you. Why could you refuse if Zach couldn't? Because I have a will of steel, of course. I also do this trick where I bend steel bars, so perhaps steel isn't all that strong. So which is it? Mind if I continue? Yet a deal with the dead, a deal with the dead is still a deal. That sweet kiss, I gave it to the clown. There were 2 bullet holes at the scene, one in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying that the one who shot the clown was you? No doubt my partner Zach has said much the same thing. Yeah, because whoever didn't shoot the clown whoever didn't shoot the clown committed murder. What, and no one gonna spare a thought for the damn clown? He's dead too, yo. You know, I mean, I better dig around here a bit more and see what I turn up. Mr. Valent, let me ask about something else concerning the crime scene, namely, the number of pistols. How many pistols were there when you entered the room? By which you mean what, precisely? 2 pistols were used in the Zach and Valent quick draw shoot-'em, correct? One for each of you. You are well informed, yet only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night. What did Zach tell me back in the lobby? Of course, I had no... Oh god. Of course, I have no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night in the appointed time, and found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. I took the pistols I had fired and placed it into my pocket. Yep, they have the same exact voice. I tried to make it slightly different and it didn't work. I see no problem with that statement. Only one pistol is visible in the photograph of the crime scene, after all. So you picked up that pistol and fired it? Indeed I did. Alakazam. Alakazing. Alakaboom. Maybe I can make Valens a little bit higher? I don't know. I mean, it's too late now, isn't it? Is the number of pistols really so important? Yeah! The number of pistols is quite important, Your Honor. Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony. What can I do but obey? I guess, like, Zach should have the more deeper voice and Valen should have the whinier voice because he's a wiener. Only one pistol was in the hospital room that night. With it, I shot the clown. Maybe? Fuck if I know. Wait, is there something to present here? Fires one real bullet. Rifling marks match bullet found in the victim. I don't present this, do I? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, it is. Huh. According to the defendant, Zach Grammari, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols on that table. 2? One of those pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead. Then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he would say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume our defendant has some brains in his head. Well, what about what Mr. Valent has told us? You see, there's something about his testimony that doesn't make sense. What might that be? I told you, I took the pistol that was there and shot the clown. Oh, I gave him an axe by accident. Whatever. That's your story, at least. But the rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Valent. Recall what Prosecutor Gavin told us. We compared the bullets taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from this gun. The rifling marks on the bullets were a perfect match. Mr. Valent, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead! Order! 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 Well, this is all rather sudden! What have I done? Prosecutor Gavin? I owe the court an apology. I have here an updated autopsy report again? Clavier, you can't keep doing this! You're not Mr. Edgeworth! That's the same, I made the same joke already in an earlier episode. It's a reference to the first game, whatever. Sorry. Sorry for what? You see, I was unaware that 2 of these unique pistols were crafted. The analysis of the rifling marks only proved the type of gun that fired them. Oh, come on. But that's not what you told us before! You said you verified the murder weapon! Which is why I'm apologizing to you now. Quite sincerely, I might add. My bad, G. Would you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my youth? Don't say that. That was just this morning! I am still young. And I might add, it wasn't really my fault. If the defendant had only admitted he took 1 pistol from the scene of the crime, we would not be having this pleasant discussion now. Valen Grammari. Yes, Your Honor. What? I already forgot how I did his voice. I put an accent in it just now by accident. It is I, Valen Grammari. I am a magician. Can I remember that? I don't know. You were presented to the court as a decisive witness, but you've proven to be more divisive than decisive. Oh, you sure got him. You'll see in time. See what in time? The testimony so far has merely been a review of the facts. The proof comes next. Can you elaborate, Prosecutor Gavin? When Mr. Valent entered the hospital room, the victim had already been shot. As his next testimony will prove, all right, the real fight is about to begin. Bring it. Very well, the witness will now testify to the court. Help us determine who shot what.